Hello again. Oh, well, we're off for a little walk in the morning here in the Philippines. Now, I was watching a video this morning, a fellow Brit. Got my silly little hat on just to keep the sun off. Oh, there's all the cock-a-doodle-doos busy there in the morning. Anyway, I was watching this video. I think the title is something about midlife crisis. I think I've talked about that before in terms of women here, also, and touched on it in a little way by men. Probably less spoken about anywhere really about. Of course, men have midlife crisis, the same as anyone else. They get a point in their life when life itself becomes intolerable, and they're trying to find answers to why they're actually feeling the way they do. And I think those that with any ounce of understanding of their own destiny, purpose in life, will understand exactly what I mean. You know, marriages become overpowering, they become, why am I here? What's this all about? You know, she doesn't care anymore. The kids are screaming and they're doing their own thing, they won't listen to you. No respect in the family anymore. You see so many of the videos coming out on YouTube over the years. Kids behaving badly or children behaving badly. Often 15 to 18-year-olds. It's nothing particular to any particular country. Inevitably, that's life. But sometimes at certain ages in our lives, that's what affects us all. And therefore, there becomes a time where we have to say enough is enough. I'll let the dog tell you that I'm walking past. He's a particularly nasty dog, but never mind, I'll let him do his thing. We're still building here, building the house. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you today? ¿Cómo está?
Okay.
Very good?
Yes.
You're doing a very fast job.
Okay.
Looking good. I can come and stay?
Yes.
Charot. Yeah, so, you know, the people are just so friendly here. It is true, they are friendly. Oh, look at this, a mother goat and her kid early in the morning here. It's just a little after 8 o'clock. But back to what I was talking about, the midlife crisis. Is it really a crisis? It just is a realignment of where we think we're supposed to be, whether here or overseas. Of course, we all maybe have parts of our lives that we don't necessarily want to share here on YouTube, not because we're ashamed of it, not because we're feeling that we're leaving ourselves vulnerable, but just simply because it's the past. We don't need to consider it as a necessity to providing good content. You know, I've had numerous emails, texts from various people supposedly connected to certain individuals on YouTube channels. One, of course, even about the channel I'm referring to. But I, like anyone, would just take it with a pinch of salt, because the information given to me leaves one thinking, well, that's his choice not to advertise maybe things that he wouldn't really want in the public arena. And it's not for me to pass dispersions upon his character either. But I do believe that we all have to, even my channel, we all have to read between the lines. We have to consider that, yes, we're doing videos every day or every few days. Morning. And it's important that we have to consider carefully that there are very good storytellers out there. Ones that can weave a certain truth, a certain dynamic, what would we call it, a narrative to fit the subject that they may be talking about. And many of the channels out there are very good at doing it. But we also have to remember that these people, like myself, have lived elsewhere on this planet, and we've lived a different life to what we portray here in the Philippines. I mean, I've been married 3 times. Oh, horror, shock. I'm quite happy to say that, it's public record. But each and every one of my wives has ended up with a home. And you might say, what a sucker. No, I didn't choose to prolong the agony of my relationship ending. So I walked away, in the sense that I didn't challenge any of my rights to a percentage or half of anything that maybe I had thought I was entitled to. For the sake of the children, after all. They remained in those homes. They were there until their mothers decided to maybe sell and make the profit, maybe move up, trade up to another property that they too could make a profit on. Because at that time the real estate market over the last 2 decades has gone crazy around the world. And it has helped to provide what will be a substantial amount of money for my children when their mother finally goes. And you might ask, well, what about you? What have you contributed? Well, I contributed by not contesting anything. Not a sign of weakness, but a sign of my own self-respect. I could not do what some men have done, and that is they'll fight in the courts to get every last penny of their rights. And if that's what they feel is important in their life, that I cannot really comment on. But when somebody reinvents themselves here in the Philippines, a mission of maybe the truth is as good as a lie, really, because I try and be as honest as I can possibly be, without naming people, without talking about specific issues that maybe transcend into my own personal life. And sometimes, yes, they can be taken the wrong way, and they can in fact cause harm to the thoughts of those one is referring to. But guys, please, it's about getting the message across. We all try, and in our own different ways, to portray life here from a realistic point of view. You know, forget the resorts, the piss-ups, the wonderful social events that we may attend as families members. The end result is we can live a good life here in the Philippines. It's a great place to retire to. It's a great place to feel at peace with oneself. and those around us. And we must always try and make life for those around us, our loved ones, as peaceful and as prosperous as we can. We must pass on some of our knowledge, hopefully, in a practical sense, to demonstrate the ease in which maybe they could consider making extra money, maybe just reapproaching the idea of how to treat others around us. After all, we're the ambassadors of our own country. The onus is on us to come up with solutions maybe that can help others. Not the world, but our immediate family. Things that we can find of help for the future. Some of us leave pensions behind. Yeah, that's great. That provides a certain amount of security for our loved ones. Some of us get funeral plans so we don't leave a burden behind. I know we've gone off the subject of midlife crisis, but really, what really is midlife crisis? A time of reflection of ourselves and what is life all about. It's a time to look at our lives and ask ourselves what is important, not just to those around us, but to us as well, to be a valued member of a family, a group, but most importantly ourselves, because if we can't handle life ourselves at that point, we're not much use to anybody else around us. We can't offer the same kind of value, the same kind of valuable resource that we have as a parent, as a father, as a husband. So it might seem a bit muddled, but it's the essence is, don't always believe everything. Read between the lines. Make up your own mind, because it's you that has to interpret life itself. It's you that has to be aware that it's up to you, guys. You draw on what you can. And if it in any way helps you, we've achieved what we want. But hopefully we've done it by being honest to you. We all know that there's going to be estranged women, wives, girlfriends that will say bad things about us. We're best to ignore those, even though they may well be an element of truth. But let's just move on, guys. Let's try and make each day better for everyone. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.